The elevator's hum was drowned out by my heartbeat, pounding like a drum in a silent room. I gripped my leather notebook, its edges worn from months of restless scribbling, a lifeline to dreams I'd carried since I was a kid, sketching app ideas on napkins at Oakland diners. My name's Victoria Reyes, 24, fresh out of Stanford with a business degree and a fire in my chest that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. I grew up in a cramped apartment in Oakland, where Mom, a single nurse who worked herself raw, would sit me down at our wobbly kitchen table, her eyes tired but fierce. "Victoria," she'd say, her voice warm like a summer evening, "your ideas are your power. Don't let anyone dim your light." Those words were my North Star, guiding me through late-night study sessions, scholarship applications, and the grind of being the first in my family to chase a corporate dream. That first day at Innovatech, June 2023, I thought I'd arrived, a tech firm in San Francisco's pulsing heart, building AI to make life smarter, kinder, more human. But when I met Harlan Graves, my boss with his slick suit, gelled hair, and a smile sharp as broken glass, a shadow crept into my excitement. Something felt off, like the air before a storm. This is the story of how I learned the cost of silence, the weight of stolen dreams, and how I found my voice in a room of 200 strangers at a presentation that turned my world upside down. Innovatech's office was a glass cathedral, all sleek lines and humming ambition, perched in downtown San Francisco like a beacon of the future. I was an intern on the strategy team for Nexus, their flagship AI app, designed to predict what users need before they even know it. I was thrilled. Me, the girl who doodle app interfaces in the margins of math homework, now in the big leagues. My first week, I was a sponge, soaking up every meeting, every jargon-laced brainstorm. The office buzzed with energy, like a hive of ideas waiting to take flight. Harlan, the VP of strategy, had a presence that commanded attention, his voice smooth as velvet, but edged with something colder. "Vicky," he'd say, slicing my name without asking, "you're here to learn, but don't hold back. Bring us the gold." I nodded, swallowing the unease that coiled in my throat. I wanted to belong, to prove I wasn't just the scholarship kid from Oakland's rougher corners, the one who'd fought tooth and nail to get here. I wanted to make Mom proud, to show her those long nights she worked weren't for nothing. My first big idea hit me one night in my tiny apartment, sprawled on the floor, surrounded by takeout containers and a buzzing laptop. I was sipping cold coffee, the Golden Gate Bridge glowing faintly through my window, when it came to me. What if Nexus could analyze a user's voice to detect stress and suggest micro breaks, like a friend who knows you're unraveling before you do? It felt deeply personal, born from memories of Mom's tired sighs after 16-hour shifts, her hands trembling as she poured coffee, her smile fading under the weight of hospital chaos. I spent hours refining it, pouring my heart into every word, every wireframe. At the next team meeting, I pitched it, my voice wobbling but my passion steady, my hands clutching my notebook like a shield. The room lit up, nods, murmurs of excitement. Harlan leaned back in his chair, his eyes gleaming like he'd struck oil. "Brilliant, Vicky. Absolute game changer." I glowed, feeling seen for the first time, like I was finally part of the team. But then I saw the email to the CEO. My idea, verbatim, signed Harlan Graves. My stomach twisted, a cold knot of betrayal. I sat at my desk, staring at the screen, my coffee untouched, my hands shaking. Was this how it worked? Did interns just vanish into the background? I told myself it was a mistake, that I should let it go. Hierarchy, right? But deep down, a seed of doubt took root, and it hurt, like a bruise I couldn't press without wincing. The thefts kept coming. quiet and relentless. I'd pour hours into reports, sketching campaigns that felt like pieces of my soul. One day, inspired by the vibrant murals on Oakland streets, I suggested partnering with local artists for Nexus avatars, something to make the app feel alive, human, like the art I'd grown up loving. I could still smell the spray paint from those summer walks with Mom, hear the stories in every brushstroke, see the pride in her eyes when I'd point out a new mural on our block. Harlan scribbled notes, nodding eagerly. Inspired, Vicky. Truly inspired. But at the next board meeting, it was Harlan's vision. The team buzzed. He's killing it. I shranked in my chair, my throat tight, my ideas repackaged in his voice. Lunch breaks became my refuge, alone in the break room with a soggy salad, whispering to myself, it's temporary, just survive. But each stolen idea carved a deeper wound. I'd walk home past the Golden Gate Bridge, its red glow taunting my fading spark. Nights were torture, lying awake, replaying Mom's words, wondering if I was betraying her by staying silent. Was I good enough? I started softening my pitches, second-guessing every syllable, afraid they'd be snatched again. The fire Mom always saw in me, the one that burned bright in high school debate club, that got me into Stanford, was flickering, and I hated myself for letting it dim. I confided in my best friend Lena over coffee one rainy weekend at our favorite dive in Oakland. She's known me since we were 15, back when I'd argue my way through debate tournaments with a grin and a fire no one could touch. Vic, you're letting this guy steal your soul, she said, her eyes fierce, her hands gripping her mug like she wanted to shake sense into me. You're not invisible. You're Victoria freaking Reyes. Fight. I brushed it off, muttering about needing the job, the reference letter, the full-time offer. But her words stuck, needling me. I thought of my ex, Jake, from college, who'd take credit for our group projects, leaving me to smile and nod while my stomach churned. I was done nodding, but fear held me back. Fear of being that intern, the one who rocks the boat and drowns in the fallout. I needed to secure my future, to prove I could make it in this world. So I stayed quiet, burying my anger, letting it simmer like a pot ready to boil over. Then came the Catalyst project, Innotech's make or break moment, a next-gen AI suite to pitch to investors and the entire 200-person staff. Harlan tapped me to help prep. Vicky, you're my secret weapon, he said, his grin all teeth, like a shark circling. Secret? Yeah, hidden in plain sight. I threw myself into it, working late under the office's flickering fluorescent lights, fueled by bad coffee and a stubborn hope that maybe, just maybe, I'd get credit this time. My big idea was an interactive demo where users co-create with Nexus in real time, turning cold tech into a partner that feels human. I layered in ethics, transparency modules, showing how data's used, inspired by Mom's stories of hospital software that treated patients like numbers, not people. It was raw, personal, mine. I'd sit in my apartment, staring at my laptop, imagining Mom's pride if this worked, picturing her tired smile lighting up. Harlan nodded along as I shared, but I caught him typing my words into his slides, his name already on the title page. Still, I stayed silent, fear wrapping around me like a heavy coat. Play nice, Victoria, I'd mutter, brushing my teeth, staring at my tired reflection in the mirror. But resentment burned hotter every day, a fire I couldn't douse. As the presentation, September 15th, 2023, loomed, I started unraveling. Harlan's prep sessions turned smug. He'd rehearse my lines, dismissing my tweaks with a wave. I know how to sell it, kid. Kid? I was 24, with a degree sharper than his ego. One night, pacing my apartment, I couldn't breathe under the weight of it all. Memories flooded. Mom's proud tears at my graduation, Lena's fierce pep talks, Jake's smug grin as he claimed my work. I was done being erased. Mom's voice rang clear. Don't let anyone dim your light. I opened my laptop, heart racing, and backed up everything. Timestamps, drafts, email threads. Evidence. The spark wasn't gone, it was smoldering, ready to blaze. I practiced in my tiny bathroom, speaking to the mirror, my voice shaking but growing stronger. This is my moment, I whispered, my reflection staring back with a fire I'd forgotten. No more shadows. The auditorium that morning was electric, packed with employees, executives in the front row, investors on Zoom from New York and London. The air smelled of coffee and nervous energy, the kind that makes your skin prickle. I stood in the wings, palms sweaty, my notebook tucked under my arm like a shield. Harlan took the stage, his suit gleaming under the lights, his voice booming. Today, Innovate Tech ignites the future. He launched into my pitch, the screen flaring with my demo, users co-creating avatars, ethics overlays glowing green. The crowd gasped, enthralled, leaning forward in their seats. Harlan basked in it, calling it our team's bold vision. My blood boiled, my pulse a freight train in my ears. I thought of Mom, wiping sweat from her brow after a double shift. I thought of Lena, her voice fierce over coffee. I thought of every late night I'd poured into this, every stolen idea that left me hollow. I couldn't stay silent anymore. My heels clicked on the polished floor, each step a rebellion, echoing like gunshots in the hushed room. The crowd turned, 200 pairs of eyes locking onto me. Harlan's smile froze, his eyes darting like a cornered animal. Victoria? What? I raised a hand, calm but unshakable. Mr. Graves, may I? My voice didn't waver, though my knees trembled beneath me. I faced the crowd and took a breath, feeling the weight of every moment that led here. This vision wasn't born from one person. It came from an intern who believed in this company, who stayed silent as her ideas were claimed. Until now. Gasps rippled through the room, a wave of shock. I synced my laptop to the projector, pulling up my evidence. July 10th drafts, my wireframes, Harlan's copy-pasted emails. The gamified onboarding? I designed it. The emotional AI? I proposed it. The ethics module? Inspired by my mom, a nurse who deserves tech that sees her as human, not a data point. The silence was heavy, suffocating, like the air had been sucked out of the room. Harlan stammered, his face paling. A misunderstanding. Victoria's contributions were contributions? I cut in, my voice cracking with months of bottled-up pain. Tears pricked my eyes, but I stood taller, my hands steady now. I built this. I stayed quiet because I thought that's how you climb, but it's not climbing, it's erasure. I believed in you, Mr. Graves. I believed in Innovate Tech. I believed in a future where ideas like mine could make a difference. But this isn't about revenge. It's about truth. Ideas are sparks we all share, but credit belongs where it's earned. My voice shook, raw with the weight of every sleepless night, every stolen moment, every time I doubted myself. The room erupted. Whispers, shouts, a chaotic hum. Harlan's face drained of color, his empire crumbling in real time. The CEO, a woman with steel in her eyes, stood, her voice steady. Victoria finished the presentation. My heart leapt, a spark catching flame. I stepped fully into the light, walking the crowd through my demo, my voice raw with passion, answering questions with a fire I'd forgotten I had. I spoke of Mom, of why ethics in tech matters, of how Nexus could be a tool for good, not just profit. I spoke of the people like my mom who deserve technology that lifts them up, not buries them in code. The applause was a tidal wave, real and roaring, shaking the room. Investors scribbled notes, murmuring about that intern's grit. Harlan slunk out, a shadow disappearing, his resignation hitting HR's desk by lunch. The days after were a whirlwind. The CEO called me in, her office overlooking the city skyline. "Victoria, you're no intern anymore. Full-time offer, lead on Catalyst." My team, my real team, rallied with apologies, fist bumps, and open collaboration, like we were finally building something together. I called Mom, her sobs through the phone louder than words. "You did it, mija," she said, her pride wrapping around me like a hug across the miles. Lena screamed when I told her, promising celebratory tacos at our old haunt. I'd evolved, from the girl who clutched her notebook like a shield to a woman who claimed her fire. Harlan, he's jobless now, his reputation ash, whispers of his downfall trailing him like smoke. Satisfaction isn't his fall, it's my rise. Knowing silence broken is strength reborn. I'm still learning to trust my voice. Some days I catch myself hesitating, waiting for permission that never comes. But then I remember that auditorium, the weight of 200 eyes, the power of my truth cutting through the noise. The corporate world's a jungle, full of shadows and sharp teeth, but I've got a flame now, and it's mine to wield. I think of Mom's tired hands, Lena's fierce loyalty, and every quiet kid out there with a spark they're afraid to show. This story isn't just mine, it's theirs too. As I walk through Innovatech's halls now, no longer invisible, I carry this truth. The brightest flames are forged in silence, but it's the one who dares to speak who lights the world. Thank you for hearing my story, for feeling its heartbeat. My heartbeat. It's raw, messy, human, just like us. If it stirred memories of your own quiet battles, please like, share, and subscribe for more real stories that show we're never alone in our fight for truth. Your support is the fuel for these tales, the kind that change us, that make us braver, that remind us to hold our light high. Until next time, hold your ideas close and let them burn bright.